time to take a TO with coaches Turner and O'Neill. Produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by DJ Krissy.
It's time to take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Your new favorite podcast features conversation from the world of high school, college, and pro sports, along with other riveting content. Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast and on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, or visit www.turnerando'neill.com. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, and more than 15 podcast platforms. We also invite you into the studio each week via YouTube. Subscribe and watch each episode on our YouTube channel at Turner O'Neill Podcast. Thanks to our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Our partners, the Tamara Cusick Team, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, and Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development, LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. And our donors, Winsight Media, Gene the Barber, Body and Beyond Wellness, and Justin O'Neill. Take a TO with Coach Turner and O'Neill is produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by me, DJ Krissy. Now we welcome you to today's episode as we take a TO with coaches Steve Turner and Casey O'Neill. Here's your host, Kurtis Cross.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 24 of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. I am Kurtis Cross, your host, and I'm joined by Coach Steve Turner, and our engineer is DJ Krissy. Coach Casey O'Neill is on vacation this week, so we will try to fill his shoes as together we welcome you to this week's episode. Our premier partner for Season 2 is Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Ray is a friend of the program, and he is the only mortgage lender we endorse right here at Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. Ray Cruz is mortgage intelligently. I can personally vouch for that myself. We'd like to thank our partners, the Tamara Cusick Team, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, and the Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. This week, we're going to jump into a busy week of sports on the local and national front. But first, Coach Turner, how was you're coming in hot today.
Coming in hot.
You came from the sidelines to the studio.
Man, it was a day of a lot of hoops in the day.
Maybe that should be an episode name, from the sidelines to the studio.
Sidelines to the studio. Hey.
Talk to us about that a little bit.
One tonight was coming in hot, coming from a summer league game, and even before that, coming from basketball camp.
Yeah, you did.
Got kids back on I Street. Started up last week.
How big was that smile this morning?
It was great. It was great to be able to, just be in a gym with a group of kids and allow them to see and make some new friends and just enjoying themselves, being back into a situation that felt normal.
Right.
And that was great. And then the weekend, man. First time college coaches got to come out and see our kids.
You letting the cat out the bag.
So that
we're
was
going to
cool.
get to
I
it.
know. You said how was my weekend, so I'm just kind of giving a little tip. But all in all, Father's Day weekend, man.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat it, especially when you got a group of family members who celebrate you and make you feel good. So that was great about this weekend, being able to get through everything that I did, which I know we're going to talk about later. But then being able to come home, kick your feet up, and be loved by your loved ones.
There you go. All right. So I forgot to write in this week's episode. Camp started this week, so I'm glad that happened. I know you love to see those little youngins out there. Some don't even know the difference between a basketball and a baseball, but you're going to teach them.
Definitely.
And some of them already have that skill set. So talk a little bit about that. We'll get into that later. But your camp, I know you don't just roll the balls out and let them do what they do. You have some sessions, some shooting, some defensive drills. You do all of that. I'm sure you let them just run up and down the court as well, getting some 3-on-3, some 5v5. You doing a little bit of all that?
A little bit of everything, fundamental camp.
Right.
Wanting to teach the basics, dribble, pass, shoot, and learning concepts, pick and roll, backdoors.
Right.
All that good stuff. And then, station work, working on rebounding, teaching box out techniques and working on footwork.
Put your booty in their body.
Yep. Get them, clear them out.
Right. One of the first things I learned from, when I first started coaching was with Tony Langley. One of the first things I learned about those offensive principles: attack open space.
Yes.
You got to. You got to. Teach me one.
Well, attack. We like to talk about attacking that front foot.
Right.
So when people on defense and they're playing with the feet a little too forward, attack that front foot.
Yep. Got to attack that open space. A lot of good things happen. If you're attacking open space, Krissy, because I know Krissy wants to know all of this, when you attack open space, someone's got to come over and help, and you're probably going to catch them out of position. You have the advantage. Anyway, DJ Krissy, how was the week, the weekend, and all that good stuff?
The weekend, it was all good. Went on a little bit of a walk. Got rained on a tad bit.
Uh-oh.
Let's see what else.
You know what you did have?
What was that?
Coach Turner, you know what she did have?
What's that?
A Saturday off. She ain't had one of those off in a while.
Ooh, I sure did.
You didn't have Friday off, but
I
you had
took
Saturday
full
off.
advantage of my Saturday.
Yeah, you did.
I sure did.
Good for you.
Good for you. All right. Well, that was the weekend. We got 9 gigs this week. So everything is back full force.
You need a part-time roadie?
I mean, we might need a roadie. Is Jared working?
Well, Jared, I'm the dude right now trying to make up for a last lost summer. So
He's got Poshmark to make him some money, huh?
He does. and working camp now, so.
Oh, good for him. Good for him. It's always great to see your players work with these youngins because, the 10-year-olds are like, I want to be him.
So he learned the lesson today.
Uh-oh. Talk to me about that.
So, as coaches, we try to tell our players, like, you guys wear us out sometimes.
Oh.
So we had a great group of campers today, and that we'll have with us all week this week, and they wore him out. As soon as camp was over, this dude was up on the couch outside my office, slept for an hour and a half before he had to go to our game.
Are you serious?
He was like, Dad, man, I loved it, but these kids wore me out today.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Oh, yeah. Look, let's get into our first commercial break, and we'll return with this week's headline. Kurt Cross here, producer of Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. There are few relationships more solid than the bond between a man and his barber. For years, I've gotten my cut with Gene the Barber. Gene has been cutting my hair for more than 20 years. Now, if you have a barber you're happy with, I understand. But if you're new to the area or looking for that perfect cut, my man Gene will tighten you up. Call him directly at 240-687-7253 and make an appointment. Gene the Barber, 240-687-7253.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our friends of the program: Shane Benson, Todd Bradley, Paula Cross, Susan and Brendan O'Neill Sr., Daniel Richard, Noah Richard, Andrea Terronez. If you'd like to become a friend of the program, go to www.turnerandoneil.com and click Become a Friend.
Connect with us socially on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast. On Twitter at Turn On Podcast. On YouTube, just search Turner and O'Neill, then subscribe. And of course, you can visit our website at www.turnerandoneil.com. A-Squared Home and Office Solutions is the go-to source for home or office network and audiovisual solutions. We can help with smart home integration, wireless networking, media rooms, security systems, and more. We will link technology to your style seamlessly. Visit homeandofficesolutions.com for more info. One headline is brought to you by
Insurance Alliance Group manages the gap between damage appraisal estimates from your insurance company and what you are rightfully owed based on your policy. They work on behalf of policyholders with claim assistance and disputes to maximize claims. Insurance Alliance Group serves as professional advisors and trusted advocates. The Insurance Alliance Group handles business and home property loss. Request a free claim review with the property loss professionals. Insurance Alliance Group. Visit us at insurancealliancegroup.com or call 866-574-4773.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. Welcome back to Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill. Today's episode is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. This week's headline, I might be eating my words here, but we'll steal a line from last week's episode, and now the joke is on me. Do the Hawks have a shot against the Sixers? Coach Turner, what did you tell me last week when I asked that question?
I told you they got a chance.
Well, they had more than a chance.
They had more than a chance, and they got it done.
And my man Trey.
Trey, hey.
Ice Trey.
Ice Trey. He had ice in his veins.
Yeah, he did.
He actually had a slow start.
You mean Game 7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
And then when it mattered the most, he came on.
Right.
I'm a Ben Simmons fan.
Right.
I believe, not everybody has all the same tools in their toolbox.
Right.
And unfortunately, one of his pieces of tools that he's missing is a shot.
Right.
I don't even think that it's a shot. I'm starting to believe it's a little more mental.
Yeah.
Than it's that he's just a bad shooter. And he's gonna have to find a way to get it out of his head. I think I said, pre episode was he might have to go talk to a sports psych or something.
Right.
But that team is so talented. They should have been advancing. But it's one of the things that you got to say about basketball. The ball can bounce some funny ways sometimes,
right,
and things can go a different way. And hats off to the young Atlanta Hawks.
Wow,
they've advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, Capella played well. I was impressed by Tobias on Philly's side.
I really like him.
He showed up well. Embiid does what Embiid does. I don't need Embiid to stand over top of someone and advance on him and get that fine. But they were not ready for prime time, apparently. And you know what? I am so excited about what I'm seeing in the young NBA right now. Trey, it's not, you know what? Years ago, we might say, well, he's coming onto the scene. He's disrespecting. It's not a matter of respect or disrespect. He's playing his game. He's taking shots in terms of talking a little bit of trash. He's not big time in anybody.
He's giving back to people what they keep giving to him.
Exactly.
And and for me in the game, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
If they're going to talk smack to you and you can back it up, talk it back.
But does Trey have to be 10 feet behind the three-point line and still chuck him up?
Hey, why not?
You know what? I'm very happy for Nate McMillan. Love what I saw there. Never liked Doc Rivers because he was a Celtic, but as a coach, I'm loving Doc Rivers.
But you look at Twitter today and the last couple of days.
Right.
Oh, Doc can't coach. What are you talking about?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Right. The Clippers should have let him go.
So all the clowns who are the Sunday quarterbacks, stop talking that talk. Certainly, I think there's some things that they have to as a team, if they are not going to be able to have a guy like Simmons make shots,
right,
put him in positions where he can score,
right.
And that would be what I would talk to them about if I had
is that him flying
chance.
Up and down the court rather than a set,
pushing the break, put him in some ball screen where he can get downhill, posting him. I mean,
he went downhill yesterday though and had a clear open shot and gave it up.
I think that's mental though.
Okay,
but I think you can run plays that you're regularly working on in practice where you're putting him at the elbow, maybe even getting him some cross screen action, posting him up on a block.
Right.
He uses his big body against a lot of the smaller guards.
6'7", 6'8"?
At least 6'7", 6'8".
Right.
Use his bigger body where he can finish around the rim against the smaller guards that guard him.
All right, get some switches, some pick and rolls. That's what you want to see. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your one headline.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill can be found on more than 15 podcast platforms. Listen to us on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. Tune in on your preferred podcast platform. Be sure to listen, subscribe, and spread the word. Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill records weekly with episode drops each Thursday at 11 a.m.
Next Level Lacrosse. Train like a Spartan. Next Level Lacrosse is dedicated to providing a terrific lacrosse experience that is intensely focused on player development and character formation. Players at all levels will improve significantly through professional coaching and carefully designed training programs. We stress proper technique and a tireless work ethic, from beginning programs to rec leagues, travel clubs to summer programs. We develop the young and experienced players alike. Next Level Lacrosse has a rich tradition of running the best middle and high school lacrosse leagues in the DMV area. You will find us at www.nextlevelspartans.com or call 240-497-1460.
Body and Beyond Wellness is acupuncture and wellness consulting. Our peaceful oasis is nestled just outside the Washington, D.C. Beltway. Our acupuncture treatments, workshops, and other wellness offerings will have you feeling restored, renewed, and revived. A limited appointment schedule is now available, but you must call in advance to schedule. Call 301-758-7980 or visit www.thebodyandbeyond.com for more info.
Winsight Media. Winsight delivers connections and intelligence to four of the fastest growing verticals: convenience retailing, grocery businesses, restaurants, and non-commercial food service through broad and cutting-edge platforms. No company is better positioned to meet the food industry's needs than Winsight. Connect with us at www.winsightmedia.com.
Building your brand is an important part of your business growth. By advertising with Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill, you'll gain the exposure and brand recognition behind our podcast. In Season 1, we reached a total of more than 100,000 listeners, viewers, subscribers, and website visitors combined. Your company will benefit from our popularity online and during the podcast. Advertising with Turner and O'Neill equals exposure on Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, and more than 15 listening platforms total. Inquire today and let's partner to build your brand.
The Starting Five is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. With a stellar reputation as an outstanding mortgage lender, Ray Cruz serves the lending needs of real estate professionals, builders, and individual home buyers in Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Texas, California, Florida, Illinois, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Ray believes that integrity is the cornerstone of his business, and helping you achieve your home financing goals is his business. Located in the heart of Bethesda, Maryland, contact Ray P. Cruz today to get started. Your home mortgage or refinance options await. Call 301-761-2278 or visit raypcruz.com. Ray P. Cruz, mortgages intelligently.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill.
The Starting Five. Welcome back to Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill. I am your host, Kurtis Cross, and I'm with Coach Steve Turner while Coach KC is on vacation. Our engineer is DJ Krissy. We are up to our weekly Starting Five, but this week, DJ Krissy will take my spot. I'll take Coach O'Neill's spot, so DJ Krissy will ask the questions of me and Coach Turner. We can defer once per Starting Five, but if we go over our 30 seconds, DJ Krissy, what will happen? DJ Krissy, we got a caller coming up in a bit, so let's get right to it.
All right, starting with Kurtis.
Why me? Whoa. Slow down, dog. I'm the host. You just come right at me. Okay.
Rapid fire.
All right,
well,
let's
not
go.
quite rapid fire, but soon.
I'm listening.
What would be the perfect breakfast?
Oh, the perfect breakfast. Give me some waffles. Give me some vegetarian sausage by Morningstar Farms, boiled egg, grits, and maybe some applesauce. That's easy.
That was a quick one.
Coach Turner.
Same question?
Same question.
Oh, man. Give me a bacon, spinach, cheese omelet with a little bit of sausage, patty sausage, the Jimmy Dean's patty sausage.
Okay.
On the side, some grits, a little toast, butter and some grape jelly, and a good old glass of cold orange juice.
I'm going strawberry jelly on that one, and I forgot an English muffin before the meal. I always like to have that.
I like the English muffin. English muffin, that's a good call.
All right, what you got, Chris?
Coach Turner, name one skill you would want if you could immediately gain it right now.
Ooh, that's a good one. I think it's a skill, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what you guys say. Us being able to really understand the stock market.
That's a skill, yeah. It's learned. It's a skill.
Yeah.
I would say
so.
Carpentry. I'd like to be able to build some stuff.
Okay.
Build some stuff. Like the deck we're getting done right now. I wish I knew how to do that myself for what those guys are getting paid. All right, what you got, girl?
Coming at you, Kurtis. Least favorite subject and why?
Least favorite subject? You know what? There's no reason for this to be it because it's easy. History. Because history doesn't change. I don't care so much for that. I didn't do as well in that in school. I like numbers because it keeps me thinking, and I got to work that. English, I love to write, and science, didn't mind that at all. But history, as easy as it is, just read the book. It didn't change. Whatever happened in 1757 happened in 1757. Learn it once, remember it, put it on the test, take the test, we're good. Didn't care for that so much.
Coach Turner.
Drop science.
Just drop it.
Just drop science. I always found a way to get through it, but it was not my cup of tea. I actually liked history. Because we got to learn about different, centuries and U.S. history and European history.
The Whigs and Tories and all that stuff.
You start getting into all the other things. So I liked history, but for me, science could go.
Oh. See, I love science. All right. Coach Turner, describe yourself in one word.
Why did I never write that question? That's a good one. If he takes my word. She has a Jeopardy clock on there.
We might have to break it out pretty soon.
Loyal.
Driven. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Rapid fire.
Uh-oh.
Coach Turner.
Oh, wow.
You're up. Favorite ride in the theme park?
Back in the day, would have been Loch Ness Monster.
I don't know where that is, but okay.
Busch Gardens.
It's Kings Dominion.
That's right. They took it out.
Yeah.
It was they took
the green one.
Yeah, they took it out. Yep.
I never saw that one. Late night or early morning?
Which would I prefer?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give me late night all night. That's when I used to get all my papers done.
Okay. Most used emoji on your phone?
I guess thumbs up.
Something you are unbeatable at?
Hey. Oh, wow.
Rapid fire.
Being a great dad.
There you go.
That's a good one. Speak all languages or speak to animals?
I believe I was an animal in another life, so I'm going to speak to animals.
All right. Mr. Curtis.
Yes.
Favorite family tradition?
Thanksgiving. Well, until I had kids, and then Christmas.
Give me Christmas all day.
Yeah.
All right. Nike or New Balance?
Nike.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Something you checked off your bucket list?
Uh-oh.
That's a good one, Chris.
That's a real good question.
Something I checked off my bucket list. Probably made my grandmother proud. I can go with that one.
You have to give up one. Never listen to music again or never watch any sports again.
You son of a gun. You son of a gun. That's not go to commercial. I don't
And you can't defer in rapid fire.
There is no deferral. That's the last one.
Whoa.
No music, she said, or no sports.
Yeah.
So read the question again. Let me make sure
It's pretty simple.
I'm going to break this one down. Go ahead.
You have to give up one. Never listen to music again or never watch any sports again.
Never listen to music again. Or never. I'll give up the sports. Music is the one thing that bonds us through race, through color, through religion, through sexual orientation, and all of that. That was the first quote I ever put on my MySpace page, and I believe that to this day. I'll take away the sports, but got to keep my music.
Wow.
Woo! That was tough. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting five.
The starting five.
Let's get social. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.
Connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, and on YouTube, search Turner and O'Neill and click subscribe.
Be sure to listen now at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buzzsprout, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or Google Podcasts. Download the app and subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode of Take It to Yo with Turner and O'Neill.
Healthy Baller is dedicated to developing athletes at any level through customized programs created by their world-class trainers. Healthy Baller creates an unparalleled training experience centered around the athlete and coach relationship. Between their physical therapy team and strength and conditioning staff, they create an all-encompassing process to help injured athletes return to the field. For the young athlete, Healthy Baller is an excellent training and confidence builder. Paula and I personally know this as our children attend Healthy Baller twice each week. With Blair and Molly training our 12 and 10-year-olds, we can personally vouch for their expert training and dedication to each athlete. Call 844-622-5537 or visit healthyballer.com and tell them Kurtis and Paula sent you.
This segment of Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by...
From Washington, D.C. to Ocean City, Woodbridge to Columbia, Richmond to Virginia Beach, the hottest DJs are right here. The Mid-Atlantic Professional DJ Association.
Current social distancing does not allow for event gatherings in the traditional sense. When it's time to plan your bar or bat mitzvah, office party, Sweet 16, or any event, we've got your party solution. Dynamic DJ Entertainment is your virtual event experts. Our virtual events division has perfected an entertainment experience like none other. We bring the celebration to you. Contact us for virtual trivia, office parties, nightclub nights, or any virtual event. Dynamic DJ Entertainment is your virtual event solution. Visit www.mapdja.com or call 301-942-4500.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take It To You with Turner and O'Neill. Ladies and gentlemen, today we've invited one of our friends, Vic Martinez, to join us remotely. Vic is a longtime friend of Coach Turner, and well, I've known Vic for quite some time as well. Vic is an avid sports fan and is particularly in tune with the global soccer game. Vic joins us now to discuss Euro Cup 2020 and whatever else is on the plate. Please welcome Mr. Vic Martins. What's up, Vic? How's it going, fella?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing over there?
We are good. How you doing, Coach Turner?
Doing great. Thanks for coming on today, Vic.
Now, Vic, are we going to talk about?
Oh man,
Are we going to talk about your dancing at the wedding? Or are we going to talk sports?
oh wow! I mean, dancing at the wedding. I think Steve Turner won that award with the percolator. I mean, that's always going to be the best dance ever.
It always is. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You did something at your wedding that not a lot of people do. You had a casual dress that still looked smooth, Vic. I gotta take my hat off to you on that one. And I believe I did your sister's wedding as well, didn't I?
So yes. The sister's wedding. No. Sister's wedding. You did not do my sister's wedding, but you did. You have done like all of the Blair Blazers that I know. But my wedding, people still talk about it. And one of the great things about that wedding was the playlist that you had. Anything from go-go to country and everything in between.
I don't know why I remember, though. Was it your cousin's wedding? Didn't someone have a wedding? Not yours, Steve, but someone on the waterfront, right down by the D.C. waterfront. I did a wedding, and you must have referred them to me. I thought it was your sister or cousin or someone.
You know what? I don't recall. I remember Steve's wedding being down there, or that was the reception.
Well, I'm just too old to remember then. Vic, look, soccer's not my arena, but as I understand it, there's a pretty big tournament going on called Euro Cup 2020. Talk to me about this. Tell me, I'm not a huge soccer fan. Bring me into the fold, Vic.
Yeah. So, the Euro 2020 is, to me, it's probably one of the hardest tournaments to win globally. European soccer obviously has the best league. And, in this tournament, you have the best countries in the world. You have France, you have Germany, you have Portugal, you have Spain, you have Italy, you have Holland, you have Belgium. I mean, I can name 10 or 12 teams right off the bat in Europe that can win this Euro Cup.
Okay.
Sometimes people, think that the World Cup is like is the best tournament ever. But the thing about the World Cup, 32 teams make the World Cup, and a lot of teams make it just for being a part of a certain region. So it gets a little bit watered down, but there's no watering down Europe.
Right?
Vic.
True that.
Vic.
Yes.
Talk to us.
Yeah.
Give me a couple of your favorites in this tournament this year, and talk to us about why you feel like they are the favorites. Even if right now they're I know looks like 2 of the groups are finished, or 3 of the groups are finished, and we still got 3 groups to go. Talk about who you think 2 of the 3 teams that could be the favorites, and what is it about them that you like?
So we'll go ahead and just throw it out there. If you guys remember, I'm Portuguese American, so Portugal is my heart, right?
Right.
And they're the defending champions. So I will try not to be biased for my boys. I will give you a concrete answer.
Go.
So I would say that coming into the tournament, I would have had France, Belgium, Spain, and England. And the only reason why I throw England in there in the top 4 is because they get to play all their group games at home, and the Final Four or the semifinals are in Wembley Stadium. If I was to tell you the best all-around team, it's France.
Okay.
If I was to say the team that is destined to win because this is their golden generation, that would be Belgium.
Got it.
So
And
Vic,
then-
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vic.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No. And then I have a lot of respect for Spain and the way that they play. But right now, Spain is struggling.
They're struggling.
They played 2 games, and they only have 2 points. But I think they're going to get the win in their last game, and then I think they're going to start playing.
So Vic, tell me this though. I'm ignorant to soccer, and you're giving me a bit of an education right now. But is that
Sure.
playing in Wembley Stadium or playing in England? Is it that much of an advantage? I know soccer fans come out in droves. I know these stadiums are bigger than basketball stadiums and bigger than most NFL stadiums. Is it that much of an advantage?
In world-class soccer, yes. But I'll give you an example of why you might be right in saying it's maybe not a big advantage. So let me play the devil's advocate. So Portugal won the Euro last year. The last tournament in 2016, and they qualified as one of the third place, one of the 4 top third place teams. So they barely got into the knockout stage.
Okay.
But then they went ahead and they got all the way to the final, and they beat France, in Paris. So you still have to win the game on the field, but you are given a big advantage by playing home and having all those fans behind you, because soccer is such an emotional sport, and there's not a lot of scoring. So just to get that little pick-me-up for a 10 or a 15-minute run, that could be the difference in the game, and a lot of times it's that home team that gets that advantage.
So I'm looking at some of the play and some of the breakdowns. Netherlands are looking pretty good as well. Where do you think they rank for you?
Yep. So I love the way Netherlands plays, but again, they got to play 3 home games this year. So the Euro Cup this year, it's a little bit different than it is in traditionally. I think it's the 60th anniversary of the Euro Cup. So what they did was they spread it around all of Europe instead of a host country or two joint countries hosting.
Okay.
So teams like Italy, they got all 3 games in Rome. They went 3-0.
Right.
Holland got 3 games at home. They went 3-0. Okay.
Right.
Italy. Oh no, I just said Italy. Sorry. And now you have England, who has 3 games at home. They won 1, tied 1. They'll probably win the next one. And then Spain got 2 ties at home, and then they probably should win the last one, so they should advance. And then today, in a miracle of all miracles, Denmark, who lost the first 2 games, and if you guys saw, Christian Eriksen had a heart attack on the field in the first game,
Yep.
where all of our hearts just dropped. It was so emotional. I saw it live. And today they needed a miracle. They needed to beat Russia by 2 or more goals. And then they needed Belgium to beat Finland by at least 1 or 2 goals. And they got it done. They advanced second place with only 1 win.
Wow.
A miracle.
So I'm hearing all these teams you're talking about, but I don't hear you talking about North Macedonia. You ain't got North Macedonia advancing to the final game?
Well, North Macedonia is done, but you know what? God bless their heart. Hey, listen, God bless their heart. They made it to the Euro Cup, which is a huge accomplishment for a small country that really hasn't been competing it's only been competing as North Macedonia for, I don't know, maybe 6 years.
Vic, you just called me out on my own podcast. He said, well, North Macedonia is done, but bless their hearts.
Vic.
Yes.
Vic,
Yes,
Steve here. Give me that one player we've seen in so many cups and in some whether it be World Cup, Euro Cup, that player who just comes out and dazzles the world in an event. Who is that?
Okay, are you talking about for the Euro Cup?
I'm talking about it, any kind of soccer event. We always see that. But right now, I want to know who you feel in the Euro Cup could go on and carry their country to victory in the end.
Well, I'm gonna give you a few, and you know I gotta put my boy up in there because he's already scored 3 goals in 2 games.
Yep.
So Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, he's 3 goals away from being the all-time, from tying the all-time goal scoring by a national team. Ali Daei from Iran has 109 goals, a record that was never going to be broken. But Cristiano Ronaldo now is at 106, and he has 3 goals in 2 games. So Cristiano can carry Portugal if we can get through the last game versus France. That's one.
Okay.
Mbappe from France. Wonderful talent. This is like that next guy in Europe that is just chomping at the bit for Ronaldo and Messi to exit right, and then he's going to be that guy. But I do have, since we're not just talking Euro, Neymar is an unbelievable talent. The things that he does on the field, it's just magic.
All right, now who does now? Again, when I talk North Macedonia, just excuse my ignorance because I'm still learning, Vic. Yep. But Neymar, who does he play for? I've heard the name. Who does he play for?
So Neymar is Brazilian, and right now there's also a tournament called the Copa America, and the Copa America is the equivalent of the Euro, which is to become the champions of South America.
Okay, all right, got it.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. Now, I think a little bit more, mass market appeal. And we've known that soccer has gone up and down. And I don't know that soccer has really been as big as other sports in America when they do an American league. Tell me how the world game is now benefiting because it's more popular than ever. Like I can turn on any number of stations and I can see lots of soccer all the time. Is it social media? Is it that there are, cameras everywhere now and there are so many more networks? What do you attribute the explosion of soccer to? Because I think this time it ain't going nowhere. Like where it's had its ups and downs before, it's only getting more popular now.
So social media has a big thing to do, right? Like, now you can stream every single game. There's so many different apps and so many different ways that you can watch the top leagues in Europe, some of the biggest competitions in South America. Soccer is being played in the United States like millions of kids are playing.
Right.
But the one thing besides the visibility that we're seeing, for international soccer is also the success that some of the individual U.S. men's national team players are having playing in some of these elite European leagues. Obviously, the women's national team is the best women's soccer team in the world. And, and little girls can strive to play for the women's national team and go to college. And now young American kids know that they can go from a club team, let's say, I don't know, Bethesda Soccer, and they're good enough that a team like Barcelona or Real Madrid or Juventus or AC Milan will come to America and give them a contract and go to Europe when they're 15 years old.
Well, Vic, you talk about little girls. If I know anything, last time I saw at least one of your daughters was on a basketball court. But if I know anything, your girls are playing soccer. Is that correct?
Well, you know what? I'm a proud papa right now. I'm actually sitting outside. I'm at Wooten High School, and my daughter is about to play her first summer league game for the Blair Blazers varsity team. She's a rising ninth grader. So my oldest daughter and my youngest daughter, who's a rising seventh grader, play club soccer, and they're playing year round. So those are two girls that they have dreams as well.
So, Vic, on the heels of Father's Day, could you think of any better way to spend your Monday than watch your girl play as a rising ninth grader on that varsity team over at Blair? Tell me, how proud does that make you?
I am so excited. To bring. I mean, it's so great. I mean, I know it's just a summer league, but Coach Turner can talk about this with basketball. It's just about coming here and getting some reps and showing her skills. Okay, maybe a ninth grader making varsity, that might be tough, but at least she's playing in this league with 12th graders, and she's getting her touches and she's getting her minutes. And what's great about this, you guys know my wife Jackie very well.
Yep.
The coach for Blair is the same coach that coached Jackie at Blair.
Steve told me that a few moments ago before we went live with you, and I'm like, Gibbs is still at Blair?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes.
That's right. I forgot. Let's not leave Jackie out of this. Jackie's an avid soccer player, too. And I've heard about some leagues that you guys play in over the years on the weekends, and I heard it gets serious. Like, we're talking broken collar. Didn't someone have a broken collarbone at one point?
Oh, my goodness. So, yes, we that was actually playing flag football.
Oh, my God.
And that was playing flag football after we graduated from being champions of all these co-ed soccer leagues. We then we tried flag football, and I was the quarterback. Jackie was my star receiver. I sent her on a post corner in the end zone. She dove for it. She caught it. She hit her collarbone, broke the collarbone, and dropped the ball. Oh, it was so hurtful.
So, hold on. You good with the fact that she's okay now, right? You're not mad about the drop ball, right?
I was mad that it should have been a better pass, and it would have been a touchdown and no broken collarbone.
There you go.
Vic, I'm going to take you away from Copa and Euro.
Okay.
What do we here at the U.S. have to do to be able to get in the game? We talk about this, I think, year after year after year, and we have these runs where we think we're gonna have ourselves in the mix, and then we kind of go a whole different way. How does USA Soccer, as you've seen the women be able to do it, how do we find a way to make that happen on the men's side?
They're making it happen, Steve, right now. This group of players that they have, so they just won the CONCACAF Nations League championship. They beat Mexico in the final a couple weeks ago.
I saw that.
And this Mexican team is FIFA ranked, I want to say 11th or 12th, right? And they were the favorites. And the United States brings a team, a bunch of under 24-year-olds. But they went and they played with the Mexicans and they won. And I'm telling you what, these players are all playing, like I said earlier, in major European leagues for major clubs. I don't know if the World Cup for 2022 is one that I would say, watch the U.S. make a deep run. But the one in 2026, which is going to be here in the United States and in Canada and Mexico, I think the U.S. is primed for a big run.
I love it. I love it. That's good to hear.
Vic, we talk sports. We have some fun. Now it's time to have some fun. We have something here on the podcast, which I'm sure you know is called the Starting Five. This is where we ask Steve and Kate. It's your turn, brother. We ask them 5 questions. They have 30 seconds to answer each question. When it comes to our guests, you are a guest of the program today. We simply ask 1 question. Now, if you do not answer in 30 seconds, DJ Krissy will do this. So you do not want to get dinged.
Ding.
Yeah, we've never had, I guess, get dinged, I don't think, Steve. I don't think we have we?
It was close.
It was close. It was close. So don't be the first, Vic. So here's your one question. You get 30 seconds after I finish the question. Name me your top 3 local sports stars or heroes of all time.
Local stars or heroes, top 3.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to go Steve Francis.
All right.
We are going to have to go. Oh my God. Kennedy, soccer, basketball, baseball.
You're talking Curtis Pride.
Curtis Pride.
Okay, you got like 8 seconds.
All right. And then we're going to go Sean Clifton. There you go.
I mean, you had like 1 second left, I swear. Anyone who's watching this, I had it on my hands. I was counting it down. You were down to 1 second. Look, Vic, I'm extremely happy for you. You're going to watch your daughter play. It's surreal, right? To know that you knew Jackie at that age and you saw her play. Now you're seeing your girls do it. I'm sure they'll make you proud. Just lacing them up, they're making you proud. But Vic, that's a wonderful moment. We're all dads here, so I know what that feels like, you know?
Yeah, man. Thanks to God. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you guys, you having me on. And I love watching the show. Like, you guys have such a great camaraderie. Casey, Steve, Kurtis, Krissy, you guys do such a great job. And it's always fun to watch you guys.
Man, we appreciate you supporting us, Vic, man. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank Vic for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, Vic Martins. Now let's go win a soccer game, Vic.
Hey, thank you, guys.
Go enjoy your daughter, bro.
All right. Take care.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, fella. How good is he feeling right now?
Oh, man. It's a proud moment right here.
Summer League, regular season, whatever. If that girl scores a goal, he's going to lose it. He's going to lose it.
Oh, he's definitely going to lose it.
I think he's going to party more than her.
Oh, we'll know about it. He'll be texting us.
He'll text us as soon as that happens. So. Oh, man. We'll be right back after these messages.
Since 1939, the Collins family has served families of Montgomery County and Greater Washington with dignified professional service in their time of need. We continue the same family tradition today at our funeral home located just off the Beltway in Silver Spring, Maryland. Our family of experienced funeral directors stand ready to assist you around the clock, 365 days a year. Whether you wish to pre-plan or you have experienced a loss, please contact us to discuss how we can assist you at your time of need. Call 301-593-9500 or visit collinsfuneralhome.com.
O'Neill Development is a custom builder in Maryland, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and the Eastern Shore. Recognized nationally as a premier builder, O'Neill Development has received awards for historic restoration and urban infill work. Committed to best practices in green building, O'Neill Development also provides support in budgeting, architect selection, and design development during the critical stages of planning. O'Neill Development, building, remodeling, and development since 1975. Find us at www.o'neilldev.com or call 301-840-9310. This segment of Take a Teo with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by
the Tamara Cusick Team. Ready, set, sold. Real estate is more than just houses. It's about people, too. The Tamara Cusick Team offers an all-inclusive approach, making the home buying and selling process efficient, financially smart, and stress-free for you. From home prep-up to complimentary staging, expert counsel to an experienced and qualified team of professionals, let's chat houses. The Tamara Cusick Team isn't just a partner. They literally sold us the home where the Take a Teo broadcasts from each week. Visit www.tamara4homes, that's the number 4.com, or call 301-780-4663.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a Teo with Turner and O'Neill. We are back with Take a Teo with Turner and O'Neill. Thanks for listening and watching as we enjoy meeting you here in this studio each week. Let's turn our attention. I can't keep this under wraps anymore. I can't hold this man back any longer. Let's turn our attention to what you in the basketball community have been waiting for what seems like forever. 2 words, live period. Talk to me, Coach.
So this past weekend, starting Friday at noon, was the first live period for our high school kids to have an opportunity to be seen live with live eyes by the college coaches.
Last year they didn't have it.
Did not have it. It's unfortunate. And so,
how important is this for rising juniors and seniors?
It's huge. It's their opportunity for these coaches to see them. You saw some kids walk away with some scholarship offers.
Right.
You're having, coaches are calling coaches, college coaches are calling high school coaches now and wanting to have discussions about players on their team. The only thing I think that was unfortunate that as I've gone through it and this weekend and feel like it in the day after, felt like speed dating.
Really?
Because coaches are trying to run all over the place.
They didn't get it last year.
And so what I think hurts these young men is like the quick audition.
Right.
And we're trying to tell these kids to play the right way. Don't be selfish. Share the ball. Show them yourself as a team and a good teammate. And so, hey, okay, you had that first game and you probably get the jitters. For us in DC, there was no parents and spectators involved.
I was going to speak to that. It was that big.
So when you look up in the stands, it's all the big names in college.
Right.
And for a kid who hasn't been in that in a couple years, that can have you tight.
So when you look in the stands, tell me some folks you saw. And I don't know how much you can talk about. I assume all of it, but when they look in the stands, who are they seeing?
Oh, I mean, it's from a low Division I school to the Power 5 schools. So I mean, here alone we had Duke, Georgetown, Maryland, Pitt. I mean, you keep naming them. Louisville. They were all in.
Okay.
In the house.
So it's that big of a deal.
You got team Stanford from the West Coast was here in the DC area, looking at kids. So when you have that, and then it's like you feel like you get. I think some of these kids probably feel like, oh wow, I had my one shining moment and I didn't really do the well. But now that coach is running to the other event over at DeMatha to go watch more kids, and then you have your best game, and you're like, oh, he didn't get to see me play.
Right.
And so,
but someone did, right?
Someone did. Mm-hmm. But some of these guys get their hearts set on some certain places,
all right.
And when you don't get that opportunity, you hope that you'll get it again. And the great thing is, next weekend will be another live event, and then they will have 3 more events in July. So that part of it probably was the thing that was probably tough for me as a coach for my kids, feeling like, dang, maybe I missed the mark. Mm-hmm. But as I've told them, someone out there is going to love you.
Right.
All you got to do is just keep being the best version of yourself. And so for my team itself, who I can speak to the most, I was proud of them. Played 4 games. We started off our first game. I thought a little, I don't want to say shell shock, but kind of lethargic. Mm-hmm. And we're down 10, 15 points. But then I'm coming back and winning the game by 10. So it showed me character and who they are.
Right. And
their toughness and ability to band together and figure it out, get a win. On Saturday, they played 2 more games and had a big win against a team from West Virginia. And then we had a rival game against St. John's in a nightcap, which had the stands a little packed.
Right.
And my boys showed up. They came to play. And I thought they played their best basketball probably of the weekend. Just the way that they played and shared it together. And, so some calls are starting to come in. Some people are feeling them. And this is what it's all about, is hoping that these opportunities will give them an opportunity to use this sport to be able to get on and go to college and get their degrees. And then we finished out Sunday in a barn burner, 2-point win against John Marshall from the Hampton Roads area. They came up and were a part of our event.
They play Boo Williams, don't they?
They got a lot of guys, their kids are in that.
Yeah.
Boo Williams, a lot of these kids on this team play for a group called Team Loaded on the AAU circuit. They're an Adidas team, and they're really good. They had a kid who could really, he had a little Steph Curry.
Has some range?
Range, but just pure shooter. Like he let it go, and most times you almost felt like it's going in. And So I was just grateful for our kids to have an opportunity, grateful that they came and showed very well. And we talk about the seniors and the juniors, but even some of my freshmen and sophomores, they got their opportunity to let themselves be seen early. And we're excited for this coming weekend as we head up to Philly to play in another live event this weekend.
Let's back up a little bit. You have made me very well aware of the live period. So for kids who believe that athletics can get them where they want to go in college, they can let the sport take care of some college for them. And we had some Supreme Court stuff happen today that's really important as far as kids, their image, their likeness, and their name, being able to profit from that. But so the kids, they have an interest in school. Coaches have an interest in them. There are certain dead periods and certain live periods. And, coaches will look at tape. They'll look at your huddle. They'll look at this, that, and the other. They'll see stats. They'll do all that. But there's, I guess, each of those pieces to how a young man or woman gets to college are important. This is just as much an important piece, where the coaches get to see them live. What does that look like? What's the buzz like? I mean, we're building up to this time, and like you said, it's hard to stay within the confines of what you need to see out of your team when these kids know this is my time to shine. And there may be some bad habits that surface, I imagine, that we want to stay away from. But how does this all get built? So you have huddle, you have stats, they can watch tape, they can watch film, they can pay a monthly fee or whatever and get on NFHS Network or wherever these games are being played. But what does this mean to coaches to be able to do this live? College coaches.
When you talk to those guys, they want to see kids with live eyes.
Okay.
It's hard sometimes to see everything about a young man on film because the film isn't always on them.
Right.
The camera's not always on them.
Right.
And sometimes, like I tell kids, it might be your certain skill set that gets you to what I like to say gets you to the party.
Right.
And I'll use my own child for an example. Jared shoots the ball.
Right.
His ability to shoot the ball, and now with his size, it's gotten him to the party.
Right.
So now some of what the coaches are able to see on live eyes with him, how does he handle adversity when the shots aren't going down?
Okay.
What are the things that he's doing to be a good teammate? What other ways can he impact winning?
Is he still getting back on defense?
Is he getting back on defense? Is he sulking because he missed and now he makes a bad play and gives up an easy bucket? Is his head down? So there's things that they're also wanting to find out. What's your characteristic like? What kind of character are you? How do you again, as I said, handle yourself through adversity? Can you do when the shot's not going? What are some of the other things you do? His first night, he had some guys in the stands that I know he really wants, and he didn't shoot the ball well.
Okay,
but in that, led us in rebounding, led us in assists, he led us in steals. And he was tied for second in block shots.
Okay.
So he impacted the game. He defended it. He defended his own, the guy he guarded well.
Because it's not all about PPG.
It's not all about points. Everyone has a role in a team, and that's one of the things I'm always trying to convey to parents is that just because you may have come from a team where your son was a 20-point scorer, well, there's 4 other kids on this team that came from places where they were 20-point scorers. And we may not need every one of you to do that every single night.
Right.
Certainly there could be some nights where we do need you to do that. But how else are you impacting the game? And I think that's so important for people to understand is that there is a role on a team for everybody when you make it. And you got to be able to own that role. And some nights that role could change. But how are you handling it when your number gets called and the coach says, this is what I need from you tonight? And can you handle it? And maybe he tells you, I don't need you to take any shots.
I need you to lock somebody down, right?
Lock somebody down, rebound the ball, get on the ground for loose ball, take charges, and doing those things that sometimes don't show up in the stat sheet.
So for those of you who don't know, we talk a lot of basketball here, we talk a lot of lacrosse, but when it comes to something like basketball, coaches, 30 years ago, they're looking at the Washington Post, they're looking at box scores, they're doing all that. And one of the things that I think is misleading, correct me if I'm wrong, you are a big-time coach. I can see someone who drops 32 a game, but if they're the only player on that team who's ever touching the ball, it's easy to drop 32 in a league where there's not as much competition or this, that, and the other. Stats can be misleading. They absolutely can be misleading.
Well, they definitely can. Sometimes you have a guy who has to shoot 30 shots a game.
Right.
And my question sometimes with that is, okay, he shot 30, but he
took 50 shots to get there.
Or he scored 30, but he took 50+ shots to get there.
Right.
Is that efficient?
Right.
Does that make him a great scorer? No. So I think that's why sometimes it is important for coaches to get live eyes on our young men and women in this game. And, I think a killer to our game, as much as it's been a help to our game, is social media.
Absolutely. Anybody can make a bomb highlight reel, right?
I'm just keeping it real. It frustrates me at times that I think a lot of guys in this business chase the sexy.
Right.
And I'm just a believer in substance over sexy.
Right. Absolutely.
I think sexy gets you fired.
Right.
I think substance keeps you with longevity in a job.
Right.
And sometimes I think these guys get caught into chasing the sexy because somebody else is chasing the sexy, and they don't do what they need to do in terms of reviewing these guys with their own live eyes.
Right.
And sometimes that guy who isn't the guy jumping over somebody dunking it every time, or putting up the human highlight film, or they got the N1 mixtape because they got the dazzling passes like a Magic Johnson, and
because their parents paid $1,500 for a video.
Right. And because some coaches are willing to just chase and follow that, there are some guys who have a lot of substance that get missed. And I'm just praying that because of the way we're coming off of this, some of these coaches really get themselves they say they want to view these kids with live eyes, then use those eyes to determine the talent that could really help your program.
Well, and what we're seeing here is Quentin Hillsman talked about it. You need grades. You need that character as well. There's, let's say, Coach A, whoever that is, Coach John Smith, we're going to call this coach. You can have all the stats you want. You can be a great player in all of this. But if every weekend he's got to be fearful of what's on your Instagram, right? Then we don't need that. We don't need that. So don't chase that sexy,
Well, it's the other reason. Look at the NCAA right now. You've got a transfer portal that was over 1,700 kids.
Right.
There's not that many spots on all the college rosters in Division I. So that means there were a lot of coaches that made a lot of mistakes. And it's not necessarily that
they were flooded.
Not necessarily that the kid wasn't talented enough to play for them, but maybe they missed on his character.
Right.
Maybe they missed on this is a me guy and not a we guy. So you got to do your homework. That's all I say. I'm going to leave it at that.
Right. No, you got to do. You're absolutely correct. And you know what? They're not going to find out until February that character may not have been what they thought it was because they chased the sexy. Right. Oh my goodness. All right. So that'll do it for this segment. We are coming right back with our weekly sports wrap up. DJ Krissy, let's do it.
Let's get social. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.
Connect with us on Instagram and Facebook at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, and on YouTube. Search Turner and O'Neill and then click subscribe.
Become a friend of the program. Friendship contributions start at just $25. Each contribution helps to fuel Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill. To find out more or make your contribution, go to www.turnerando'neill.com and click Become a Friend.
At Peace Players, we use the power of sport to unite, educate, and inspire young people to create a more peaceful world. We offer sport programming, peace education, and leadership development to those living in communities in conflict. We challenge the hate that is driven by the fear of our differences. We bridge divides between people through the game of basketball, and we develop young leaders who help to change perceptions. Find out more at www.peaceplayers.org. This segment of Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is sponsored by
Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. With a stellar reputation as an outstanding mortgage lender, Ray Cruz serves the lending needs of real estate professionals, builders, and individual home buyers in Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, Texas, California, Florida, Illinois, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. Ray believes that integrity is the cornerstone of his business, and helping you achieve your home financing goals is his business. Located in the heart of Bethesda, Maryland, contact Ray P. Cruz today to get started. Your home mortgage or refinance options await. Call 301-761-2278 or visit raypcruz.com. Ray P. Cruz, mortgages intelligently.
portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, Back to Take It to You with Turner and O'Neill.
Welcome back to Take It to You with Turner and O'Neill. This week's episode is brought to you by Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Now our weekly sports wrap-up. This is where you can take the wraps off me, because now you and I can talk about something we both know. You know that live period. So I did my best trying to, get the information out of you. Let's talk NBA playoffs, baby. Hawks, Sixers. Wow. Game 7. In Philly, and Mr. Trey Turner went to town, didn't he?
And Trey Young.
I said Trey Turner. Trey Young, he had his way.
I went to town. I shoot a Trey.
Right.
I went to town. No.
The Hawks look great. 6-7 years ago, they went as far as they could go with the team they had then. I said they had to rebuild. This is what, in his absence, Coach O'Neill loves the way this team was built because they did it organically.
He definitely has loved it. And local college product, not a local product, but a local college product, stepped up big herder.
Right.
He came to play. A couple of my guys were calling him the real deal, and I was like, whoa, slow down. Now, he's had some great moments.
Right.
There's only a few real deals in the league. That's KD, LeBron, guys like that.
Right. We're going to get to KD in a minute.
But I was excited to see Herder step up in an unbelievable moment to help his team and be able to give the Hawks an opportunity to head to the Eastern Conference Finals.
You know who surprised me actually most on Atlanta's side? Capella.
I've always been a believer in him.
Right.
It was a matter of where did he get to next and how did he fit with that group. And he and Trey have an unbelievable
pick and roll.
They have an unbelievable chemistry.
Yeah, and did you see some of those laser-like passes that Trey is giving? And Capella just going up, and I mean, there's a couple of times he made Embiid look bad.
Yeah.
A couple of times he made Embiid look bad. We talked about them earlier. Bucks, Brooklyn. A lot of people are going to get on KD. I'm not a huge KD fan. I'm not super KD or I hate KD. I'm not like that at all. What did you want the man to do when he played 100 minutes of basketball in the last 2 games?
We said it before we got the playoffs. There were only certain things that were going to ruin a team like Brooklyn,
Lakers,
or the Lakers, and that was injuries.
Right.
And in the end, he still almost found a way. He's a toe away.
Right.
Come on. One big toe away.
So if his shoe size was one size smaller.
Half a size smaller.
Right.
It was that close.
Right.
Half a size smaller.
Right. For those who don't know, he shot a jumper at the end of the game to tie the game, and his foot was maybe an inch into the 3-point line, so it ended up being a 2, not a 3. I don't think there was any question that it was a 2, but he made some big shots. He played all 48 the previous game. Yep. He played 53. He played all in Game 7, and he's just tired. I mean, without having Kyrie, he's got to spend more energy, bringing the ball up the court, doing all of these things, playing all 48 or 53 minutes if it goes into overtime, and they missed Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie is a monster, but he can spell some minutes, make the passes.
He changes the game because of the ability to now have 3 huge options,
right,
and be able to keep people fresh, where they can preserve energy and be at their freshest down the stretch when it matters the most.
Right.
And I think, unfortunately for KD, having to play those type of minutes and having to do so much, it wore out. And unfortunately, a toe away.
Right.
And otherwise, he would be going into the finals.
Now, let's not take anything away from the Bucks. The Bucks showed up when they needed to.
Oh, they definitely did.
Middleton just,
definitely did.
Who else am I thinking? I can't think of, obviously Giannis, but Middleton and... I'll come back to him.
Well, my guy is Mr. Holiday. He started off that game rough, and down the stretch, he really picked it up. I think he's one of the most underrated point guards in the game.
Can he stay healthy?
I pray so. I love him to death. I got a chance when he was a high school student to coach him in the Jordan Brand game, and the one thing that I remember about him the most is that a lot of the time these guys come, the season's over, they're getting ready to go off to their college careers, and what was so special about him was how he competed every practice. And some guys were there kind of having, acting cool. And
there's one duffel bag.
He was about his business. And then the things that he's gone through with his wife, and some things that, some ailments that she had, and him being able to continue to be the man that he is, and the things that he does to help others. I just have utmost respect for this young man, and proud of the way that he handles his business.
We're going to go off script for a minute. Brad Stevens made a move over the weekend, didn't he?
He did.
Talk to us about that.
Sent Kimba on his way.
So,
and when you see a coach go from the coach's seat
mm-hmm.
to the GM seat,
mm-hmm.
and that quick he makes a move.
What does that tell you?
That obviously Kimba was never in his plans.
Right.
And
Kimba, air quotes, is hurt.
Is hurt.
Maybe he doesn't figure into the master plan, right?
Yeah. I mean,
and he brought back Horford. Are you serious right now? I mean, I am actually a Horford fan, but his tread is gone.
It is, but he's a great locker room leader.
Okay.
And I think that's something that team is still young.
Right.
And
he's a Boris Diaw.
Yes, their best players are still young guys.
Right.
And I think maybe Brad from that seat on the bench to now moving into the seat in the big house.
Right.
Feels that this group needs a leader. And that's what I think he sees in Mr. Horford. And but he's gonna have to go find a point guard. He's gonna have
to. Clippers, Utah. They took care of Utah. I was hoping that
playoff P, baby.
What?
Playoff P.
I was hoping that they would do some things, but now the Clippers are in the what? I've got some things here. I didn't change this like I should.
Western Finals.
Yes, they're in the Western Conference Finals playing against Phoenix. What do we see there? No Chris Paul.
Well, no Chris Paul and no Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
So, game one goes to Phoenix.
Yeah.
The young boy, Mr. Booker.
What?
So I keep telling my son, watch this young man on film.
You know what? I'm very impressed by
triple-double.
A serious triple-double.
Serious triple-double. And
you dropped 40-something?
I forget how many points. But
he had 37 last time.
But when I saw the numbers, I was like, whoa. He picked up for his boy while he's in this COVID protocol.
Right.
And carried his team to game one of the Western Conference.
And handles his interviews very well.
Very well.
He handles his interviews very well. Did you see, after they got off the court, you see the hallway in the back? Him and
they FaceTime
Chris Paul.
So,
I'm loving that.
So maybe I can let this. No, I can't let this back out of the head. I would be betraying someone who gave me some information today. But I will say there's a probability of Mr. Paul playing in game two.
Oh, I hope so.
But it's probable. But I got it from a very, very, very reliable source.
Oh, I hope so.
Whose young son is a camper in my camp this week.
Ah, okay. All right. I ain't mad at you.
But I never tell my sources.
No, we're not asking. We're not asking for our sources. I'm liking Phoenix. I want to see Phoenix do well. I want to see Phoenix and the Hawks. That's what I want to see.
I want Phoenix to win it all from here on out.
Yeah, well, I'm a Chris Paul fan now. My knock on him always has been the injuries.
Yep.
And now we see what can happen. It's the same thing with, DeMatha, Washington, Philly, Markelle. When you've seen him healthy, you've seen what he can do.
Yep.
I've seen some highlights from that guy when he's been healthy. So I'd like to see, we're finally seeing Chris Paul be healthy. Let's turn our attention to the NHFS, the NHL playoffs. The Golden Knights Canadiens, they're tied 2-2 in that series. Lightning and the Islanders playing right now. Tampa Bay is making a statement right now. It is 3-0. They're not letting the Islanders have trots, right? I think they have the old Caps coach. So, look, I think that, unfortunately, the Islanders are, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Casey has said it right in the studio. I think this is Tampa's to lose. I think they'll be fine there. Golden Knights and the Canadiens. The Golden Knights, I think, will emerge out of that one. They are tied 2-2. They play tomorrow. Sorry, Canadians, but again, I think they had nobody in their stadiums. It's just a different atmosphere.
It's a different atmosphere, man.
It's a different. And Casey has called that.
It changed it. And Coach O'Neill, we can't wait to get you back so we can hear what you're feeling about this.
Because we're trying to extend this NHL segment as long as we can, and we need you here, brother.
This is his area of expertise, so we'll be excited to get him back. But I know he's enjoying a heck of a trip with his family this week.
As he should, but both series are tied 2 games apiece, although if Tampa has anything to say about it, they're about to go up 3-2 on the Islanders. They're winning 3-0 in the middle of the second period right now. Rapid fire. Carl Nassib of the Vegas Raiders comes out as gay today. Here's the thing that concerns me about that. Jeremy Shep, or one of the reporters, Schefter?
Jeremy Shep.
one of the reporters put something out on Twitter, and they said that this is his truth. And we encourage people to speak their truth. And he's going to donate $100,000 to a certain cause that helps suicide prevention for LGBTQ communities. What I saw on the Twitter, though, really disappointed me. Can this man just be whoever God wants him to be? There are people on Twitter talking about, I'll never watch the Raiders again. How can they let someone on this, like this on their team? And now who's, I want to say Tagliabue.
Here's my thing. How is it a let? This is a human being.
Right.
Who earned his way.
Right.
To being in the league, to have an ability.
As a walk-on in college.
As a walk-on in college.
Right.
But has had an ability to be able to prove himself, to be able to be good enough to play in an NFL franchise.
Right. And it's about letting him.
It's letting him. Why is this letting him? That I have a problem with those words.
I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because it bothers me, but the NFL will no longer be getting my viewership during Raiders games. If the Raiders let people like this after the blasphemy, are you serious? This is what I'm reading. This is what I'm reading. That's it. As a lifelong Raiders fan, I can't support this team anymore. If they let people like him on our team, there's no way I can support this. I'm not going to read any more of this because I'm not going to give it any of our airtime. But there are people who actually think like that out there. Look, I'm hetero. It's no one's business what I am. It's no one's business what he is. But he is the first active player in the NFL to say something, and that is his truth. And he felt like he needed to do it. Now, forget what he said. Forget his truth. He's opened the door to maybe help some people.
Somebody else.
That's what's super important about this.
As we've continuously said on this podcast, there are so many things that are going to come out of this pandemic. And the one that stands so strong for me is everyone, men, women, child, dealing with mental health. And having a truth like that is something that you feel like you can't speak its truth.
Right.
It can only be damaging to you.
Right. Think about how hard it is for us to hold your surprise party back. We're holding information. This is someone's soul and their core.
We just have so many people who are cruel in this world, and get rid of them. Good riddance to those people.
Right.
And I'm proud of this man for coming out and speaking his truth. I hope that he will have teammates that will support him. I hope that he has an organization that will support him. And that others in this league, whether they want to open up and divulge who their truth is, that's for them to stand for. But I hope that the rest of this league stands up and understands that this is a heck of a football player, and whatever he speaks, to who he is and who he feels he is in this world.
Right.
There should be nothing wrong with that.
And we talked about this earlier this week. It has nothing to do with this gentleman coming out as gay, but happy Pride Month to those listeners of ours who are celebrating during Pride Month. Rapid fire, we also talked about this earlier, but Ben Simmons, you feel like he may need to go talk to someone because there are big moments where he is not contributing as we thought he would.
I definitely believe that. It's the old drawing board. Get back in the gym this off season. Get with a shot doctor to work on this shot.
Right.
But I think it's a little more mental than anything. Right. I think he needs to probably go just sit down and talk to somebody who can kind of help him get through this block.
Right. Last but not least, is Mr. Rogers going to show up to camp at all?
I don't know.
I mean, he's on a boat. He's tweeting things. He's wearing shirts that say, I feel disrespected. I mean, he's making his statement. And at this point, I think Casey may have mentioned it. But, so when you get to a certain age, a certain point in your career, you're like, you know what? I'm going to do me. He doesn't need the money. He wants to play. I'm sure that's hurting him. He wants to play.
He wants to play. And they did disrespect him.
Right.
And
trade away half his core.
I hope they can figure it out because the NFL will not be fun without him being in there next year.
Right.
If it's him to move and go somewhere else, let it be. Or I hope that the men in the room can go have a seat behind closed doors and figure this thing out because the NFL does still need Aaron Rodgers.
All right. We have something that I did not intend on speaking about, but we've got Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, Mike Conley, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Otto Porter Jr., Victor Oladipo, Gordon Dragic, Tim Hardaway, Dennis Schroeder, Evan Fournier, Danny Green, Andre Iguodala, Kelly Oubre. We got a whole bunch of free agents coming up in this offseason.
Yeah.
This summer's going to be fun.
It's going to be interesting,
Wizards got rid of Westbrook's coach. We need a point guard in L.A. And if
You got a point guard, LeBron.
Oh, wow. As he gets older, he needs to handle the ball a little bit less. But here's what I will say to you. Maybe people in Philly aren't happy with Simmons. Maybe the brass aren't happy with Simmons. That's supposed to be LeBron's protege, and they've got the same agent. Just saying.
That's a lot of names, and it's going to be a very, very interesting offseason.
Oh, I can't wait. Lakers need to add one more piece, and we need to stay healthy. DJ Krissy, let's hear from our advertisers. We invite your questions, comments, and show ideas. Simply go to www.turnerandoneal.com and click Submit Your Idea.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our partners, sponsors, and donors. Our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Our partners, the Tamara Cusick Team, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development, LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, Peace Players International. Our donors, Winsight Media, Gene the Barber, Body and Beyond Wellness.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill can be found on more than 15 podcast platforms. Listen to us on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Buzzsprout, Spotify, and other popular podcast platforms. Tune in on your preferred podcast platform. Be sure to listen, subscribe, and spread the word. Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill records weekly with episode drops each Thursday at 11 a.m.
Portions of the podcast were previously recorded. Now, back to Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill.
We are back, and now it's time for our final words, some thanks, and of course our weekly quote, this week offered by Coach Turner. We invite you to become a friend of the program. We've updated our website. All you got to do is click Become a Friend. Go to turnerandoneal.com and click Become a Friend. Now is the time to secure your spot as one of our advertisers for Season 3. For as little as $25 per episode, we can help build your brand in front of our audience of thousands each week. 92% of our advertisers return from Season 1 to Season 2. And now we are confirming returning advertisers with space for new ones. Now look, go to our website and click Media Kit and you'll see everything that we offer. From one-offs, you can do a commercial for one episode. You can run the whole season long. The best value is all season long. Where else can you reach thousands of people for $25 per episode? I'll just say this. My man Gene the Barber, he advertised with us one season, and although he already had these plans, he will advertise with us in Season 3. He's opening up his own shop. He used to be a barber with a chair in a shop. His own shop is opening right off New Hampshire Avenue any day now. He's painting, doing the floor, doing all that stuff now.
Mean Gene.
Congratulations,
my brother.
Yes. We exchanged Father's Day texts yesterday. Connect with us socially on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast as well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and via all podcast platforms to get the episode drop alerts. When we drop a new episode, you'll be among the first to know. I signed myself up weeks ago, but every time we drop an episode, it says, new episode by Turn O'Neill. You think I don't know that? I just dropped a damn episode. But it lets me know too, guys. We encourage you to join the conversation, so write to us with your questions and comments at turnero'neillpodcast@gmail.com. Before we sign off, many thanks to our listeners and viewers. We want you to spread the word, so do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, forward this to a friend. Make sure we get new listeners and viewers in our growing community. A special thanks to Vic Martins. Vic showed up for us today. He's passionate about soccer. He knows the game.
Oh, he loves it.
You ask him about Euro 2020. He's talking about guys in other places. He's talking about cups that happen next year I never heard about. He's like, not 2022, but in 26 with the Americans. He knows his stuff.
Oh, he knows his stuff.
You know basketball. He knows soccer. We want to thank, of course, Coach Casey O'Neill, who's not with us, but he's with us in spirit. I'm giving him an air high five right now. And What would I usually do? Can you wait your turn, Coach O'Neal? Can you wait your turn? I got to give him a hard time every week. He's not here, so I can't bully him this week, right? Because he's not here to fight back. That's my Buckaroo. Coach Turner, thank you. Thank you, DJ Krissy. Thank you, Paula. Thanks to our donors, sponsors, and partners. We encourage our audience to support those who support us. DJ Krissy, what's the word, young lady?
I think we had some fun today.
We did.
You know, we had some good starting five.
You did.
I guess.
You did a great job. I like you in that hot seat. That was
no
fun.
music or no sports. What's wrong with you?
Oh, come on. That was a good one.
It was, but I'm keeping music.
Matter of fact, that was a good one. And I'm glad you didn't ask that one to me.
No, I'm asking you. What would you do?
I don't know. It'd probably be give up watching sports.
You can't live without your music.
Because she did not say I couldn't listen to it.
There you go. I tried to catch her up on one because I was like, okay, can I play sports? But then I'd be watching it if I play it, so I couldn't. I was trying to work around that too.
She did not say I couldn't listen, so
dang it.
I'd be back to like old school, you know.
Just the radio, Johnny Holiday style.
Get the radio, baby. Let's go.
WMAL.
Yes.
Oh, come on now.
Try to hit the tuner,
Right?
fine tune on the.
He's gonna get a shortwave radio so he can listen to all the different games. So you'd be the first person who would request a pay-per-view radio package.
No doubt.
So you can listen to every game you want. My final thoughts, I had a bunch of fun. So glad we had Vic on the show. Yeah. It's just great to hear some more soccer talk. We miss Coach Casey. Can't wait for him to get back. Love this crew right here. Love it 75% as much as I love the whole crew. So Casey, we miss you. We've seen some pictures, but don't think about us. Enjoy the rest of your vacation because you are back here next week. Coach, I need
you, Casey.
Oh, that's nice. We need your final thoughts and your quote, sir.
So, final thoughts. One, I just want to thank you guys. Certainly, Case, we miss you, bro. But you guys, as much as I had an unbelievable time this weekend, seeing my kids back in front of college coaches and myself back on the sideline, I think you guys can tell my voice is probably going in and out.
That's going to be a weekly thing until summer league's over.
No, I hope not. But it's funny to go 18 months and not really have that opportunity, right? and have that voice trained where you don't get hoarse and you don't lose it. I'm having a rough time.
Ricola.
Look, in the glove box, a bag about this big, and it's already almost gone within a week.
You need some hot tea, honey, and lemon, brother.
I'm doing it every day. Medicine balls from the Starbucks. I mean, I'm killing it all, but
right.
I'm just enjoying it. I'm back able to be in the saddle and be in my happy place. But as I said, there were some things also about this weekend that weren't fun. Weren't fun for me as a dad, and you guys made my mental health Monday good.
All right,
you got me back in a good place, and the things that kind of had me in a bad way, I'm going to talk about in my quote.
I got one more thing.
Yeah,
I had a great Father's Day as well. Brooks and Dunn, my favorite country group, retired years ago. I did not know they have a reboot tour, and Paula and me and finally the kids get to see Brooks and Dunn with me and Paula. So that made me really happy.
Saw it already? Or are you getting ready?
No, October. It's coming in October. It's a Jiffy Lube Live.
That'll be awesome.
Yes. So anyway, I took away your time.
No. That was damn well worth it. So, I'm big on truth and trust.
Okay.
And in this world, for me, there are two things that I need from people, and when I don't get it, it'll drive a stake in my heart, and that's communication and transparency.
Right.
And I've done a lot in this game of basketball in a 20 some odd years.
Right.
And those are the only two things that I would ever want from anyone that I deal with. And it's unfortunate that we've been put in this time through the pandemic, and people have been squeezed in different ways in this world. But I hope some people who are listening hear me, not calling any names out, because unfortunately there's a bunch of them, and I would take a long time to do it. But I just want people to know, like, there's only two things I want to know when it comes to dealing with my kids and recruitment. Yes or no?
Right.
Tell the truth. I'm never going to change who I am towards you. because any kid that you recruit from me, either you want him or you don't. Either he fits or he doesn't.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But to do avoidance, to have conversations that I think are not truth or trust.
Genuine, yeah.
And genuine, it bugs me when I feel like I've called you a friend. And so to me, the quote for today, trust is built on telling the truth, not telling people what they want to hear. Just speak truth to people, fellas. It's better and easier than speaking false.
DJ Krissy, pull the plug.
Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill would like to thank our advertisers. Our premier partner, Ray Cruz and MCF Mortgage. Our partners, the Tamara Cusick Team, Dynamic DJ Entertainment, Healthy Baller, and Insurance Alliance Group, LLC. Our sponsors, O'Neill Development, LLC, Next Level Lacrosse, A Squared Home and Office Solutions, Collins Funeral Home, and Peace Players International. Our donors, Winsight Media, Gene the Barber, Body and Beyond Wellness, and Justin O'Neill. Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is produced by Kurtis Cross and engineered by DJ Krissy. All material is the exclusive property of the podcast and may not be copied, rebroadcast, or used in any way without the written consent of the podcast. The views, ideas, and commentary of podcast guests are solely their own and not necessarily endorsed by the podcast. You may submit questions, podcast ideas, and commentary to turnero'neillpodcast@gmail.com. No compensation is offered for submitted material. Should we choose to use your idea, comment, or question, you agree to your likeness, social media identity, and/or information being used on the podcast. Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill is recorded weekly and distributed via Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more than 15 podcast platforms in total. You can also view Take a TO with Turner and O'Neill weekly on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest episode drops. Some portions of the podcast may be pre-recorded. Join us socially on Facebook and Instagram at Turner O'Neill Podcast, on Twitter at Turn On Podcast, and on YouTube. Search Turner and O'Neill and subscribe. Our website is www.turnerando'neill.com. Advertising opportunities are available.